Hey guys, it's Mike here. Just a quick recap on how we use RM cycles and specifically how we're going to use it for our threshold development workout, our squad session tomorrow, Thursday, July 13th. So just to recap, here's how we program your Tempo Trainer Pro to RM3, which is what we're going to use it for our session tomorrow. Okay. Hypothetically, let's just say your CSS pace is 2 minutes per 100. That's your threshold pace. Okay. The way we get to RM3 is like this. We take your threshold pace, 2 minutes, divide that by 2, and then add 3 seconds. So on your Tempo Trainer, you put it into mode 2, then we program it to say 1 minute 3 seconds. 1 minute 3 seconds, or 63 seconds. Okay. Now we're going to use that throughout this particular swim set right here. We have a 2,000 meter version and we have a 1,600 meter version. Now, if I can't emphasize this point enough, that if you are a swimmer, specifically a triathlete or open water swimmer, and you're doing any sort of race that is longer than 400 meters, your goal should be to do training just like this, okay? If you're spending your time at the pool and you're doing lots of intervals with lots and lots of rest in between, you're guaranteed to turn yourself into a sprint superstar, okay? You'll get lots of rest, you'll be able to swim very, very fast for short durations of time. If you're a triathlete or open water swimmer, to my knowledge, there are not many races where the swim is any shorter than approximately 400 meters, okay? So what we want to do is turn you into a beast of a diesel engine, okay? So it's going to be workouts like this that have long intervals with a very short amount of rest in between. And in this particular case, we're going to have you running near your threshold pace for the majority of that time, okay? Here's how the set works. We start off with your Tempo Trainer Pro. It's going to be up underneath your swim cap. You'll resync it using that top button from the moment you set off. The very first part here is 2 by 200. Okay? What's going to happen is your goal is to beat the beeper every 50 meters. You will hear the beeper approximately every 50 meters, but because you have it set slightly slower than your threshold pace, you're going to get ahead of it, okay? So by the end of 200 meters, you should, in this case, gain approximately 3 seconds per 50 or 12 seconds per 200. So if you're swimming at your threshold pace for a 200 here, you should expect to get approximately 12 seconds before you have to start your next 200 when you hear that beeper. At the end of that second 200, you go right into a 400, where now your goal is to stay with the beeper. So you'll now, in essence, be swimming 3 seconds per 50 or 6 seconds per 100 slower than your threshold pace, but this should act as a little bit of recovery, yet it'll still be pushing you, but it's very dialed in, it's very specific to your own threshold pace, okay? The recovery at the end of this 400 is 1 full beep on the beeper. In our example's case, 1 minute and 3 seconds. And then on the next beep, off you go into the next part. 4 by 100, your goal again is to beat the beeper to get any kind of rest in between each of those 100s, okay? You should get approximately 6 seconds of rest between each of these hundreds. At the end of the hundreds, you go into another 400 right away. You get about 6 seconds rest after number 4, you go right into a 400, but you can slightly dial your pace back and stay with the beeper here on the 400. Last but not least, we have 850s. These are more or less going to be touch and go. You might only be getting 1 to 3 seconds of rest between these 50s if your threshold pace is correct and proper. It's dialed in specifically for you. If you absolutely crush this set, okay, if you find yourself getting way ahead of the beeper on any and all of this, then guess what time it is? It's time for you to tweak your base threshold pace, your CSS pace, push it down, okay? This is how we get our athletes to swim faster and faster each and every week, okay? If this is a stretch, then no big deal. You have to slow your starting threshold pace down just a little bit to dial it in just a little bit more specific to where your current fitness level is, depending on your fitness, okay? All right, so I hope that helps. I will see you tomorrow morning. I know it's been a while since I've been to the early morning session on a Thursday, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and seeing you there. And then I'll see you again at 12 noon to do our fun threshold development set. All right, we'll see you guys later.